Yo. So we start off with the governor backdooring his own mans. And I really need y'all to look at, bro. Something's obviously not right with him. I don't know what made the people of Woodbury even trust, bro. Now we see Dog fighting for his life because the governor is trying to give the walkers fresh human. And what throws me off about this scene isn't even the fact that bro is trying to body his mans for no reason. It's the fact that the governor is literally screaming, "I don't want it," as he actively continues feeding this man to the walkers. Bro is trying to act like he's not in control. We know you enjoy this. Now I can go on and on about how sick the governor is, but this video will probably be an hour long, so I'm just gonna continue with the story. I love the fact that out of this whole group, Tara was the one who stood on business. She really took no disrespect, and in my mind she was the perfect addition to Rick's group. Later on, the governor goes on a scavenger hunt with Pete and Mitch. Pete and Mitch argue on whether they should steal supplies from another group, and I already know what the governor's thinking. I know in his mind he just wants to body the group and get it over with, but the fact that he's not in charge holds him back. And I want y'all to guess what Philip decides to do to take over this group. If you guess that he will body his crew, you're wrong, because he tries to run away with his family but gets blocked by the walkers. Then he shows up to Pete's house and decides to body him. He could have easily bodied Mitch too, but it's way harder to lie about 3 bodies in the span of 24 hours. After dumping Pete's body in the lake, the governor goes back through the woods, and this is where he comes across Michonne and Herschel. Now I already knew what time it was. I knew things were finna get crucial as the governor starts talking to his camp, giving that Captain Irwin speech. Told him that Rick's group destroyed Woodbury and that they were gonna take his prison peacefully. Now to me, that would have been red flag number 1. What do you mean you're gonna take his prison peacefully? You just said he destroyed your last home. Why would he just lay down and give you the prison? Like, the people following him are really some bots. Now I gotta give the governor more credit because he really pulled this off. We see him knocking out Michonne and open the blick on Herschel before capturing the two and holding them hostage. So the governor tells Herschel and Michonne that he's gonna take the prison peacefully, and I want y'all to remember, he talked to Herschel specifically about keeping the peace. Just keep that noted. We get to the prison and see that my dog Glenn is fighting off this virus, and at this point I remember telling myself that Glenn was cooked. I thought it was no way he was gonna survive this virus and the governor's attack. Shout out to Maggie for holding him down. She's always been a real one. Now Rick is arguing with my goat Daryl. They're arguing about the fact that Rick drove Carol 50 miles out and stranded her, but in his defense, she was probably going to get bodied by Tyrese because she sent his lover to the gulag because she was sick, and this was after the group agreed not to kill their own. So Carol really got bailed out, if you ask me. It's funny because I remember blaming Rick for Daryl and Carol not getting together around this time, when in all actuality, it was because Daryl has no riz. I remember when the group first got to Alexandria and they were able to get clean clothes and shower for the first time. Daryl seen Carol all clean and was like, ew.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
What can I say? This man is a natural born survivalist. Him and Glenn are the exact team players that you need in these very moments. So Rick, Daryl, and Tyrese stumble across a scroll that has been dismantled. Tyrese is saying whoever did this is the one who bodied his girl. And right when Rick was about to explain to him how wrong he was, we get the craziest boom. I know their hearts drop. Sounds like a bunch of Titans just spawned in the prison. Everyone comes out running and Rick tells everyone to get back. And then we look up and see the governor and his crew ready for smoke. They even bought out a whole tank. Bro, we're cooked. The governor's telling Rick that he just wants to talk, but we all know that's cap. And Rick tells him that he doesn't make the decisions anymore, but that's also cap. Then the governor shows that he has both Herschel and Michonne. I gotta give it to him. This was top tier execution by the governor. Some would say a hating masterclass. Now Rick is shook, still claiming that he doesn't make the decisions, but the governor applies pressure, making both Herschel and Michonne hit the "will you marry me." Rick gives one last talk to his son and goes to stand on business. And we see my dog Daryl getting ready to carry as usual. So the governor tells Rick that his people has until sundown to leave the prison, or else he's gonna nuke the entire lobby, which is absolutely insane, by the way. Like, you just said you were doing this peacefully. How does no one on his side call this out? Rick's telling dog that he has too many sick people to travel, and the governor's just like, "That's too damn bad." Meanwhile, Daryl's going around handing everyone a rifle because he knows things are about to get crazy. Now we cut away to the governor's family and see that a walker is approaching them, and when the walker starts closing in, Lily gets ready to up the blick. The walker ends up sinking in the water and floating away, and it seems like everything's safe until another one emerges from the ground. It then grabs Megan, and it's GG's. I don't know why everyone keeps letting kids out of sight in this show. It seems to be too much of a common theme. Now Rick and Philip are still negotiating over the prison when two walkers appear. Philip shoots both walkers, knowing that the noise lawyers will draw a herd. So now Rick's running out of time to make a decision. We see Daryl and Carl both ready for war, and Carl's just itching to body the governor. I really love how Carl's always on time and no matter the situation. Like, bro just watched his mom pass away and he's still out here on the front line, ready to boom something. That's the true definition of a YN. Now Rick's trying to talk no jutsu one last time. He tells the governor that they can share the prison and live in peace and harmony, but we all know that could never happen. Now it sounds more believable when the OG says it, so Herschel tries pitching in, but the governor is not biting. He wants Rick's whole crew gone or his GG's. Rick makes one final stand, telling him that if they all can't have the prison, then no one can. And once the governor hears this, he walks over to Herschel and puts a katana to his neck. Now at this moment, Rick's crew should have had their sights aimed at the governor and the girl next to Michonne, but I guess they were too short. You right there with the stupid soccer mom haircut. I see it in your face. You know this is wrong. Y'all gonna let them do this to innocent people? This nigga over here trying to cop a plea. Give us that prison, boy. Together, let's make it stand. It's bigger than black and white.
No, nigga!
You can tell Herschel already knew his time was coming. He heard Rick rapping Lil Baby and knew he was cooked. Rick loses it, letting off a shot, and Carl lets one off too. Then we see the governor getting hit in the arm. Now we're seeing an all-out war breaking out. Rick's side is letting off shots, Michonne's rolling out the way, and Maggie's shooting, trying to avenge her father. Rick tries running away, but gets hit in the leg, and both sides are continuing to let off shots. I swear Rick's crew was going through it at this point. They just had Lori pass away, a deadly virus bodying everyone, and now they're in a whole war. They literally cannot catch a break, dog. We see that Herschel's still alive somehow, trying to crawl away, when this menace comes over and starts chopping him like a tree in Minecraft. RIP Herschel, man. Rick's crew wouldn't have made it this far without him. We look over and see Tara shook because her crew is literally bodying innocent people. Then Lily brings Megan to the governor to show him that she's been bit, and he literally ups the blick and pops her without any hesitation whatsoever. I don't know who's colder, the governor or Negan. The governor says that he wants the whole lobby sent to the gulag, so his crew starts moving in. I gotta give Maggie and Beth their props for keeping it together. They literally just watched their pops get bodied, and they're still out here fighting. Shout out to them, man. Daryl's carrying as usual, taking out a bunch of men. Then we see the tank blowing down everything in his path. Yeah, it's obvious that the governor did not want this prison at all. He just wanted a reason to be completely unhinged. Maggie goes looking for Glenn, proving that she's a true ride or die, when Rick comes out of nowhere, hitting the governor with a spear. He starts punching the governor, trying to slide for his man's Herschel. But this scene right here was the first and only time that I've ever had to put Rick on fraud watch. I didn't want to do it, but Rick, you disappointed me. After Maggie gets Glenn out of the prison and a tank literally blows a hole in the wall, we see Rick and the governor out here boxing, but the governor is absolutely whooping Rick. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house. Take your meal. Do what you need to do today.
Rick tries fighting back, but the governor eats his punch and delivers a headbutt. I hate to do it to you, Rick, but he knocked the sonic rings out your ass. Now during this, everyone from Rick's crew is holding it down. They know the walkers are on the way, so they're trying to get everyone on the bus to safety. Maggie and Daryl are both competing for MVP. Meanwhile, Rick's taking the beating of his life. The governor steps on Rick's wounded leg and starts piecing him, hitting him with straight ground and pounds. Someone tell Rick to get up! The governor gets a few more punches in on Rick before choking him out, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. I really thought Rick was him, but bro's fading faster than Lightning McQueen in Cars 3. Rick's on his last breath, and it looks like the governor's about to win. That is until a blade goes through his chest, and we see that Michonne has come to the rescue.
Are melting on my tongue.
I was so disappointed in Rick right here. In no way I thought he was losing this 1v1, especially after everything they lost. Daryl's coming through taking out walkers when he drops a grenade in the tank. Mid chops out and the tank explodes, and when he turns around, Daryl ends him without the slightest hesitation.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
And we see him and Beth leaving together. Now I really got to talk about this scene with Carl and Rick. They've been through so much after losing Lori at this point, and they still have to keep going, even with no end to their suffering in sight. They go looking for Judith, and when they found her seat, we see that she's not there, and it's full of blood. And now they're thinking they just lost another family member. I love how when this walker appeared, Carl just started firing and letting out all his rage. Then Rick coming to comfort him as they cry brought real tears to my eyes. The emotions were running high with this one. The writers cooked with this scene. Now we see the governor is still alive, but Lily ends up blicking him and ending his life. And at the end of the war, we see Rick and Carl limping away from the prison, ready to start their next chapter. Beautiful show, by the way. Top 10 shows of all time. If you made it this far in this video, I just want to say thanks for watching. And if y'all have any suggestions, y'all know to comment them down below. I really do love y'all, and I appreciate all the support. G-Way no way, man. Peace.
We so proud of them, yeah. Did that shit again, yeah. I'm gon' proud of them, yeah. Can't go broke again, yeah. We got hella racks, yeah. We so proud of them, yeah. Did that shit again.